Today, it would be a doggone shame if we didn't get a chance to talk about some of the hidden gems that we find in your board game shelfies that you sent in to us.
I want shelfies of your dogs too. Put your dog on a shelf and email it in.
This is Lost in the Shuffle. Hey there, Grant.
Hey.
And we got a special guest star today, Stuart.
Stuart.
We're here to talk about board games, specifically your board games.
Yeah, we put a call out on Blue Sky for you to send in photos of your board game collection, of your shelfie as it were, and boy, we got a lot of submissions, and you guys got great collections.
We're gonna look through a few of these submissions, and we're gonna, we pick out our favorite game and maybe an underrated gem?
Yes, we're picking out our favorite game and the game that we think is great that's the most underrated in your collection.
That's a much more efficient way to say what I just said. I'm ready when Stuart is.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll ever happen. I'm pretty into Stuart right now.
Let's use the magic of editing to go to when we were ready. Okay, Grant and Stuart. Today we're going to start with a collection of 3 photos showing the shelfies from viewer Amanda.
Yeah, and Amanda, boy, do you have a great collection. You know, I'm looking. It's really, really hard for me to pick my favorite game from this collection because you have some of my all-time favorite games just in here. Gutenberg, I love, one of my all-time favorite games. Cubito's one of my all-time favorite games. Middle Ages, the new version, I love.
Yep.
I love Planet Unknown. I love Dice Forge. There's just so many here. Mysterium is one of the games that got me into board games. I still pull it out every Halloween season. I still enjoy playing it. You just have a great collection. Aquatica made my top 10 of the year it came out. But I think if I had to pick one game, one of my favorite mechanisms, if somebody asked me just what types of board games you like, engine building is one of my favorite because it's so satisfying. Even if you lose the game, but you created a great engine, you just feel good at the end of an engine building game. And you have a game on your collection that I think is one of the greatest engine building games of all time. And it is fact, I hate when people say like, oh, this is a this killer or something like that.
Yeah, sure.
But you do have a game that has made it so I don't really play Splendor anymore. And that is the game, It's a Wonderful World.
Oh, really?
It is such a great engine building game, and it is like, to me, I go, okay, Splendor might be a good game for someone who is brand new to board games. And then once you've learned Splendor, then you jump to Century is kind of the step up in engine building from Splendor. Well, It's a Wonderful World is one step up from Century. It's got a lot of replayability, a lot of interesting aspects. I like card drafting too, and so you're passing cards around, drafting cards, building an engine, and it's just really satisfying and fun.
Oh boy. So you've covered about 14 games now already.
There's so many good ones.
Absolutely. I'm looking at the shelf that's open here, and the first one that jumped right out at me, oh, I love this game, is Imhotep.
Oh, I love that game too.
Oh, Imhotep is fantastic. I remember the first time I sat down to play Imhotep. I was like, okay, this is nice. And then it was like all of a sudden just locked in this, well, wait, I want to do 3 things at once. What do I do? And you have to commit, and it's not necessarily a deep game, but it's a captivating game.
Sure.
It's absolutely adore Imhotep.
Awesome.
So yeah, that is
a great game. It is definitely more cutthroat than you expect it to be the first time you play it.
1,000,000%. Yes, absolutely. So cutthroat.
I also think you have a lot of great games that are underrated in your collection. I wish more people talked about Starship Captains. It was my number 2 game of the year. It came out from CGE. That's not what I'm picking. Millie Fiore is another one that's like a point salad engine building game I love that I feel is underrated.
Is that the Glassworkers?
Yes, it is. But the game that I'm going to pick, because if I had to say which of these is the most underrated out of those ones I just mentioned, a game that I almost never hear anybody mention is the game Sonora I see on your shelf.
I was just looking at that.
It is a weird, unique mix of mechanisms. Sonora is a flick and write game. So there is a board, and you have a little corner of it, and you are flicking discs into different quadrants of the board, and based on where they land, you can do a writing thing in the sort of roll and write aspect of the game, and the writing has a bunch of different puzzles.
One of those games like, can they make this work? Oh, They can.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Okay, yeah, good picks all around. Well, it's going to be really difficult for me to find a hidden gem on here because there's so many great games.
Yeah.
But I'm going to wrap up Amanda's shelves by doing what you did at the start, by just doing the greatest hits on here, I see.
Okay.
Clank Catacombs.
Oh, yeah.
You talked about not liking the term, this is an X killer. I played that for the first time and it was like, oh my gosh, will I ever go back and play any other version of Clank?
Now that you have the tiles, just the replayability aspect of it, it's always a different puzzle every time you play it.
I have a huge soft spot in my heart for Takenoko, the Panda Bear bamboo one with actual 3D bamboo that you're growing. That was one of the first games, actually, that I added to our collection when my daughter was just like 6 or 7 years old.
Oh, nice.
But the one I think I'm going to talk about most is Life of the Amazonia.
Oh, you know, I've heard good things about it, and I've never played it.
Oh, if you combine the, random bag pulling with Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Sure, I love that part of it.
With tile collection and then placing animals to make different synergies for the areas that they populate.
Sure.
With a little bit of special bonuses and powers. Maybe not a hidden gem, but one that definitely should not go overlooked.
Sure. That's great. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to play it sometime.
Oh, I would love to teach it to you.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to jump in with a quick message to thank you for watching Game Night Picks. But, Game Night Picks is more than just a YouTube channel. There's also the companion website that I designed to make it fun to manage your game nights and easy for your group to pick which game to play next. And the Game Night Picks website is free to use, but it does still require server resources and bandwidth to run it. Of course, you know how that goes. So, to help maintain and develop the website, we're running a summer support drive through mid-July. During this time, if even just 3% of users contribute to support the site, its funding goal is going to be reached super easily. So, if you have found the site to be useful or would like to just support Game Night Picks in general, well, you can follow the link in this video's description to join in. Thanks for any support and consideration that you can give. I greatly appreciate it. And now, let's get back to our regularly scheduled shenanigans.
Now we're looking at Andrew Bernhard's collection, and another great collection here. I mean, I'm impressed with the collections that people have that they're sending in. There's so many great games in this collection.
I'm impressed with the efficiency of space with which he has packed his book.
I would say my favorite game on this shelf is a top 10 game of all time for me. So it is one of my all-time favorite games, and that is the game Ra. I love auction games in general. I love games that are easy to teach but have a depth of strategy to them.
Okay.
And I think Ra accomplishes that. It's not that hard to learn the rules of Ra, but it's really interesting. You're always thinking about what other people are going for, how you can kind of be more clever than them. I would put it as my favorite auction game of all time, and he's got the new production of it, which is the production is really amazing as well. So yeah, great game, Ra.
A good pick from this pile here. I think I might actually have to go with. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a twist on this. I'm going to make things more complicated than they need to be. I see here Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle.
Sure.
And we've talked about this one's distant cousin, as it were.
Sure.
Here is an Avatar: The Last Airbender version of Harry Potter that is like a new edition that re-implements it. But Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle is what the Avatar one's based on, so I mean that one cannot be far behind.
Sure.
Excellent.
Underrated pick.
What about that?
I feel like there's some contenders for this as well, but the one I'm going for is Kinfire Delve. This is a 1 to 2 player game. If you play it 2 players, it is a cooperative game. You are playing cards to sort of overcome obstacles as you delve through the deck. And when you get to the bottom of the deck, you'll fight the big bad guy. And if you can beat the big bad guy, you will then win the game.
Okay.
But when you are overcoming obstacles by playing cards and rolling some dice, rewards might be like get rid of the top 4 cards of the deck, so you get to delve down faster. So it also means there's a lot of replayability in it because there's only one deck of cards, but you're skipping stuff all the time. So you could be on your 5th play and be like, I've never seen that card before.
Nice.
You know? Yeah, it's interesting. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think my underrated pick here, my little hidden gem, might be down here near the bottom of the pile. There's this little game called Gorus Maximus.
Oh.
Have you played Gorus
I
Maximus?
haven't. It's one that I've known because I like Inside Up games, and that was one of their earliest games, and I've just never gone back to it.
Yeah, and it's a little card game, and it lives up to its name. It has like a it has like a gladiator theme to it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
The gladiators are doing their job.
All right.
However,
Sure.
Inside Up Games a few years ago reintroduced a new edition of it.
Okay.
I'll put a picture of it up. Now you can get the fun of the gameplay without having to worry about frightening the children.
Nice.
Yep.
That was probably a smart move.
Yeah, I think so. So finally here, we're going to take a look at a couple of photos of Brooke's collection. Just some honorable mentions here as I go through the shelf here. We got Trogdor, the board game. You know, anything related to Homestar Runner, you know, that's got to get a mention right there, right? So I'm looking through here, and I came to a game that made me stop in my tracks.
Ooh.
That is the game Odin's Ravens.
Oh, I don't know that game.
Odin's Ravens is a 2-player game where we have a deck of cards that represent like fields and mountains and streams and different types of land. And the premise of the game is you're sending out Odin's ravens to go travel out and everything. So you have this kind of map that you're going down, and you play your cards to move the ravens down and back across this map. And that's kind of the entirety of its premise, but it just executes it so elegantly. It is one that will probably never, never leave my collection.
Okay, so that's your favorite one on this collection?
Well, you know, I'm going to have to go with that. Yeah.
I feel like that one is also a hidden gem. You know what I mean? And the fact that I didn't know about it.
I was going to introduce it as a hidden gem, but if I don't find any others that strike my fancy even more, that might actually also have to be my my favorite.
Okay, I'll jump in with my favorite in this collection. I consider Forgotten Waters because I love storytelling and I love comedy, and Forgotten Waters is one of the funniest experiences you will ever have in board games. I considered the game Spots. What a great little, push your luck dice rolling game that I love. But I think, if I'm being honest, my favorite game in this entire collection is the game Super Mega Lucky Box, because I love combos. I love just boom, 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 boom. Again, that sort of engine buildy feeling of combo building. It just is so satisfying. And Super Mega Lucky Box is like bingo on steroids. You flip a number, you cross off that number on one of your cards, but when you finish rows and columns, it gets you benefits, and sometimes you're like, that's getting me a 5, and I'm using that 5 over here, and then that's finishing that row, and then that's getting me this thing, and then that's getting, it just feels great. I've never seen it miss with a group that I've played it with, and I've played it with a lot of different types of people, for sure.
So that was your hidden...
No, that's my favorite game on this shelf.
That's your favorite game. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to talk about briefly Dixit.
Oh, sure.
There's a whole genre of games.
Yeah, a lot of games.
Dixit. Yeah, the One Key, Stella.
Mysterium, the type of artwork, interpreting art like that.
So many of those where you have artwork and you're using that to convey an idea and a message. I love that. I love that mechanism. Even if it's not the game that is my favorite, I would have to say perhaps that's the genre on this shelf.
Yeah, the most important almost game on this shelf.
So I'm gonna give a shout out to Dixit for that.
For my hidden gem game, I'm struggling to choose between 2 games here.
Well, indulge. Do both.
Oh, okay. Well, I think the top 2 hidden gems here are My Favorite Things and Wilmot's Warehouse. I will note they are both very unique experiences, and if people get into the sort of silly spirit of the game, they are wildly fun and very memorable. My Favorite Things is trick taking, where you write all the answers for a category and someone else has to predict.
I've played this.
Yeah,
I've played this. You're answering all the categories, then you pass them.
Yep. And so I have to be like, okay, these are birds. Well, what is Chaz's favorite bird?
You have to know about,
Does he think pigeons are actually funny and cool, or does he hate pigeons, Like, I've played this with my family a bunch, and like, Christmas is my favorite holiday, and somebody gave me the category, like, holidays, right? And I had to rank holidays. And my sister still brings it up because I put 4th of July as number 2 and Thanksgiving as number 3. And she's still like, no, Thanksgiving is your number 2. Everybody knows Thanksgiving is your 2. And I was like, no, it's not. And she's still so upset that I put 4th of July as 2 over Thanksgiving.
That's a very interesting family dynamic to have.
Yeah. So that game is just, it's very silly. You get to know about people too, but it is.
Well, just look at the stories that just our memories of this game is just brought up. Yep.
Yeah. The other one here is Wilmot's Warehouse. So Wilmot's Warehouse is like a mnemonic device if it was a whole board game. In Wilmot's Warehouse, you are putting out these abstract cards onto the board. There's a grid. And those cards are random shapes that don't have any inherent meaning to them, but you are going to assign meaning to it, and you are going to keep playing cards down and building a story of what the cards represent so that you can remember where things are.
Okay.
And I'm not a huge memory game person. That is not a mechanism I seek out at all.
Right.
But this is almost more of a storytelling game than it is a memory game. And so, like, I remember the first time I played it, it became this whole story about this guy with a golden toilet, and this is his young butt, but this is his old butt, and he's got golden toothbrushes up here. And it just became this weird story. And it's also really interesting to play it with a different group of people because you're like, well, I think that's what that represents. And someone else is like, no, I see this. And you're like, oh, I never thought about it that way. And it is very memorable and very unique. If someone had told me about this game, I don't think I would have played it. But somebody literally put it on the table and was like, this is what we're playing. And everybody was like, okay, and then had a great experience, and now I want to play it more.
Well, that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Brooke, and thank you, Grant, for kind of showing me something new on by your shelfies.
Seriously, thanks so much for sending in your shelfies and sharing your collection with us. It's really fun to see how people curate their collections in different ways and stuff. You know, we've seen some people send in their stuff that have a ton of variety. We've seen some people go all Euros. We've seen some people do like a ton of small box games. There's no wrong way to do it. And so just, you know, I'm glad you're out there collecting games.
Yeah, and we would love for you to share your shelfie with us. In fact, down in the comments, you'll find a pinned comment that's going to have a link to the Game Night Picks Blue Sky, where you'll find a post where you can send in more shelfies. And we will probably be doing more of this in upcoming episodes.
Awesome.
Yeah. Until those episodes, thanks for joining us and subscribing and doing all the YouTube stuff. And we'll talk to you again real soon.